All right. I think we are in business. Welcome, everybody. Just going to take a moment here to let a few people gather. I know this is a new platform, so we're getting used to this Mondays at 11 sitch. But if you do pop in, let me know where you are calling in from and your name. Check out this chat. Last week we chose kid friendly, so it didn't work. So let's see if the chat works. Hello. Welcome. We're just going to wait for a few people to pop on here live. And then we'll get started. Let us know where you're calling in from. Okay, cool. All right, we are in business. My sound guy just said it sounds good and we have no delay. Thanks, sound guy. Well, you know what? I'm actually just going to get started, and everyone else can join us as they get here. So, welcome everybody. So my name's Jamie Wozni. I'm a master light activation guide, and my purpose on this planet is to help other healers, sensitive souls, divinely gifted humans feel safe enough to shine, to be seen, to be heard, and to really liberate your sacred light, liberate your authentic magnificence in the world. Because it isn't normalized in our world to be a gifted one, to have psychic gifts, to have to feel energies when you walk into a room, to be sensitive. And to me, I've lived in this world for so long, this all seems so normal. And so each one of these conversations is to serve these beautiful, sensitive, incredible human beings to heal, to come back home, to allow you to really thrive so that you can get in touch with your gifts. You can get in touch with your reason for being here, right? And my journey, I didn't have this experience. None of us do. We don't have this, modern day Hogwarts school for the gifted. Most of us can walk around with a lot of shame, thinking there's something wrong with us, thinking that we're too sensitive, thinking that we're crazy, thinking that we're too much. A lot of us get really bad health conditions, which was my experience in the past. So feel free as we are moving through this to pop any questions in the chat. I think until we get the ball rolling on these lives, I'm just going to do maybe short 20-minute conversations, food for thought. And then, we'll go from there as we get the gang on board. All right. So today, I wanted to call it Feeling Met, but I did another video on my YouTube channel called Feeling Met. And it's about healing through welcoming the dark. Now, I don't think any of us want to hear that. It's really crazy when us humans are like, yeah, bring it on. This is what I want to do. Welcome the dark. And so for me, I've been doing this spiritual teaching, guiding, mentoring work for 10 years. And the beginning half of my journey, which is what a lot of us fall into, was trying to innocently, of course, fix myself, trying to suppress all the stuff that was perceived as negative, and not necessarily this like overboard brokenness, outwardly broken, but it was always going to healers. I want to get this to go away. Like, make it stop. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to welcome it. And what that tells the body is a whole load of rejection. It's like if we resist our experience and we try to fix what's broken, it gives the message of rejection. So then we're in that vibration of rejection and we're bringing more of that energy to us innocently. So just notice, are you in that? I mean, we can get so caught up in it, that self-help addiction, really, where we're like, this was my thought. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. one more thing, one more thing. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Not from a place of love, of that perseverance and resilience of like, okay, we're just gonna, stick with this and be with ourselves through whatever we're through. But that fear of like that next healer, that next food, that next supplement, that next healing technique, that next whatever. Now, that doesn't mean not go do the thing, but there's such a distinction between where our decisions are coming from. Are they coming from fear or are they coming from love? And we can feel into that. But if we're in resistance to our experience, if we're in resistance to we'll call it lots of things, heavier emotions, densities, darkness, as I put in the title today, unwanted experiences, if we're in resistance to them, what we resist persists. And our brain that's trying to keep us safe is not going to want to hear what I'm saying. It's going to go, nope, because this is what I did to people who are like me saying this to me. Nope, no, she's wrong. It's not the way. Because we're so afraid to surrender to the densities, to the shame, to the fear, to the jealousy, to the rage, to whatever it is that's moving through us. But ironically, when we surrender to it, we realize that it isn't who we are. It's an experience that we're having. And it allows these energies to move through us with grace, right? So just know if your brain's like, I don't want to feel that. First of all, of course, you might need to do the trauma healing that you need to do, because sometimes our brain is meant to try to protect us, right? Sometimes it will feel it too intense. And through trauma work, you understand in particular, somatic healing, you understand, I'm just going to go a little bit at a time. So we say, could I just welcome 1% of this energy feeling that's moving through me? When we have the identity crisis of I am my emotions, yeah, you're experiencing your emotions. So when we have that awareness of, no, I'm not my emotions, then we usually go off the deep end and say, well, if I'm not my emotions, then I don't have to make a big deal out of this and I don't have to feel them. Well, it's the opposite. I'm not my emotions. I experience my emotions, so let it rip. I am fully alive. I'm allowing life to move through me. I'm allowing myself to fully feel. And again, we don't grow up in a society that is conducive to that, where we're taught, yes, child, feel your anger, feel your sadness, feel your shame, feel your jealousy, feel it all. So there is a retraining of sorts that happens where we have to bring in radical self-love, experiment and say, hey, the way I'm living still isn't taking me out of my anxiety, my depression, my physical issues, and surrender and experiment. And say, what happens if I hold myself in love and I say, I'm risking it all and I'm welcoming the sadness here. I'm welcoming the anger here, because every single human being has emotions. They're there to tell us what's going on in our mind, right? Our emotions make us aware of what we're thinking, where we're at, where our brain chemistry is at, what's going on in our lives. So can we use it as energy to go, oh, wow, I'm a powerful co-creator. I've created this thing, and with all the acceptance and love in the world, I'm going to let this energy, this experience that I've created move through me and move out. And then I can use it as information. This is where I'm existing, right? This is the energy that's moving through. And I know that's so difficult. I know that is so difficult if we're in that identity crisis of, this is my personality, this is solid and stable, this is who I am, this is the diagnosis I've been given. I mean, I had been given the diagnosis of anxiety disorder and panic attacks and all that, and I carried that around for a long time. I was like, I'm just a scared person, as opposed to I was experiencing a lot of fear and in resistance to it, so it didn't have a little exit door to go. It was just spinning and spinning and spinning. So how do we heal? How do we find freedom? How do we find abundance? How do we find health? Through being really brave and experimenting with going into the darkness, into the unwanted, into the densities, not on the outside world, on the inside world. We put our hands on our heart. This is what I do every day. And whatever it is that's moving through you, not you, moving through you, an aspect of you to be loved, whatever's moving through you. Hey, fear, breathe. Hey, fear. Hey, density. Hey, darkness. Hey, unwanted experience. Now, if you are a student of meditation and mindfulness, what they teach in basic meditation is welcoming with non-judgment. And it's a practice because our brain, again, where it could be used to, if these energies were rejected in the people before us, they would innocently, maybe they didn't vocally say it, reject it in you. So mine wasn't met with, you're a jerk, Jamie, you're feeling these feelings. In my childhood, there were many people around me who met me with silence because they didn't know how to handle it. So then I was confused and I thought, well, this isn't welcome here. It's being met with silence. So then I put it here because I thought, well, that's not what's going to keep me safe and loved. And that could very well be your experience. So for us, it's, as in mindfulness, holding it in a state of non-judgment. And this can be so challenging if our whole lives we've been going, I mean, you hear it everywhere. I hear it in people I'm talking to every day. I don't want to feel this. I shouldn't think this. I know better. So here's the kicker. This is called ambivalence, where we can feel two things at one time and be confused. You know, we can feel compassion. We can be a higher evolved being and feel compassion for a caretaker of ours that wasn't aware to do something to serve us for our highest and best. We can say, well, I get it. And at the same time, there's a little kid in there kicking and screaming and pissed. And we can open up space for both poles. We can open up space for, I feel compassion and I feel anger. So we can hold a bigger experience. And none of our feelings are wrong. They're energy moving through us. And we have an inner wisdom in there too, who we are, the soul, the spirit, the heart. That because we think, well, I got to hold on to all this stuff because it's giving me information. It's got to tell me something. And it might be there at the same time as your inner wisdom. But as this fluidly moves through you, guess what? There's more space for you to hear yourself, for you to have clarity, for this. I need to have a conversation, very practical stuff. It's very practical. I need to have a conversation with my loved one about X, Y, and Z. I need to go take that supplement. I need to get outside and take walks more. Whatever it is that we need will start to occur to us as there's more fluidity in our experience. But we're all living in these innocently created log jams that get really solid and stable, right? That we call me and us and life as it is, because we don't want to feel it. And bless your heart, because this has taken me 10 years again of resisting. No. There's got to be another way. There's got to be another way. If I feel all of that, it will consume me. I'll be unlovable. I'm going to be unattractive to my partner. I can't be like that. I'm not going to make any money if I'm like that. And every single time I have the courage to take time, which I do every day, to sit with myself with how I'm feeling and not making it wrong, just saying with, as we talked about in mindfulness, non-judgment. So we can also call that acceptance, neutrality, unconditional love, compassion, love. Hey, sadness. I welcome you here without needing to change you. And I'm just going to let you move and shift on your own, in your own time, when you're ready, right? But it is, if we can see it as energy, we welcome, we notice we're in resistance, we welcome. And there is a video on my YouTube, which I was telling you about in the beginning, called Feeling Met. There's a meditation in the end of that video. Take yourself through it. I guide you through welcoming these feelings, welcoming hello for those of you that just popped in, um, welcoming the energy that's moving through you. So just to recap, if we believe that we are the energy moving through us, we get stuck in it. But if we can step back a little bit and know we are the powerful co-creator of life, and this was just an innocent, unconscious experience that we created, and now we can be aware and make it conscious, and we can welcome the energy to move through, that we are resilient, that we can handle it, that we are made for that we won't get stuck in it, that even if it gets a little bit intense, that gradually it moves through. And remember, we can allow it to move through us in baby bits. So we let this energy move through. And as I was alluding to before, every time I have the courage to go in to feel, I feel lighter afterwards. A physical part of my body starts to relax. My lungs relax. My body relaxes. Something beautiful and new comes into my life. I'm more in love and connected in my relationship. Because that's who we are. We are that light. We are that lightness. We are that love. And so when we can get the energy to move, who we are in our nature, which is beautiful, already whole and complete and filled with love, has a chance to take up the space where the density was existing prior. So the more we can welcome, the more we can flow, the more we can, regardless of what anyone says, know that it's safe to accept the unwanted feelings, witnessing them in non-judgment, it can move. And then that's how we heal. That's how we get our life back. Not trying to not feel, not trying to suppress, not trying to fix what's broken, not trying to medicate it away. Now, of course, medication might come to you from your inner wisdom, but I'm talking about in a broader context. It's just such a visceral thing for us to go, oh, you feel this, you have anxiety, you have depression, here's your medicine. As if there's something wrong. Because innocently, we don't have these teachers and guides that we can come to that teach us. Can you sit with the fear? It's not a bottomless pit. It's okay. It's an energy. Can you love it? Can you accept it? Can you welcome it? Can you know that it has the ability to move through you? And that you'll actually feel better, more free, more abundant, more beautiful things can come into your life in that flow. So let me know how this was for you. Send me any messages. Let me know how this practice goes for you. It's been wildly liberating for me. So I was looking forward to sharing this with everyone today. And again, feel free to do the meditation, Feeling Unmet. That's on my channel as well. And leave any comments or questions. I'm happy to be here for you. Again, Jamie Wozni, Master Light Activation Guide. And if this is something that you're interested in and you want to go deeper with me, you can always check me out on Instagram, just my name at Jamie Wozni, or my website is my name as well, jamiewozni.com. Under the services page, I only work with 8 clients privately, one-to-one each year. So if this is something that you're like, I really want to mentor, I really want to guide to heal, to learn how to live in this way that I was not taught, to bring in abundance, to bring in freedom, to liberate my light, to liberate my gifts on this planet, then reach out. The information to book an exploration call is on the services page. And I also have 2 other courses right now that's on the same services page, jamiewozni.com/services. Liberate Your Sacred Light is an amazing that's the 8-week course. That is filled with 8 of my top teachings on how to actually heal. We talk about feeling, we talk about everything that I'm talking about in here, but you get me for 8 weeks, meditations, healings. And then also on the services page is Profound Healing Through Self-Love, which is my most affordable course. And it's all about the healing elixir of self-love, which is exactly what I'm speaking about today, which is this non-judgment, this acceptance, this space that we reside in where I radically give myself everything I need and I risk it all for myself, not in a silly way, but in a loving way, because that's what it's all about. That's how I'm going to allow myself to live as my soul came to live, not trying to please everyone else, but by being my authentic expression. So, you can find me there if that will serve you and resonates with your heart. But I will be here on YouTube every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care. Bye. Sending you lots of love.